My best friends, how are you doing? I hope that you're doing exceptionally well today. Not just good, not just okay, exceptionally well. I hope that everything is good with you. I'm just leaving the cemetery. I'm leaving the cemetery on the hill. That's where I filmed a video today. I was just feeling cemetery, and honestly, once it gets to a certain point in winter, I won't be able to go to that cemetery anymore because it's on a hill. And once we get so much snow and ice packed down, I won't even be able to safely get up or down the hill to go to the cemetery, no matter how good my tires are. So I was like feeling like going to the cemetery today, and I just figured, why not? Excuse me. Like, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do it now before it's too late. So that's what I decided, and that's what I did today. I'm so patiently awaiting 4 packages right now. 3 have gifts for my Secret Santa in them. 1 has stuff for my daughter, and the other one is for my angel, the cone to fix my angel. So I'm just like patient. I'm so patiently waiting. I've never been more patient. You've never seen me patient before. So maybe I'm lying. Maybe I'm not being patient at all. Who knows? But either way, I'm doing my best. How are you though? Like, really, how are you? With the holidays coming up, the weather changing, like, how's it going? You okay? Excuse me, I just have a little cough. Still, you guys know the deal. You already know the deal. Nothing to update you on here. You guys already know. But I was talking to CJ, and something that I find really, really interesting that I just recently heard about is like this duplicates theory. So like, basically it's kind of like an alternate dimension theory where people, like, there are different timelines that exist. Or no, I guess, I don't know exactly how to explain it because I don't know a lot about it. But from what I understand, it's like an onion where there are a bunch of different layers. It's all the same onion, so it's all on the same timeline, like existing right now, but it's different layers of space. So there is a version of me right now who is also driving in the car, but having a completely different conversation. There's also a version of me who lives somewhere completely differently, has a whole different family. Rose doesn't exist. There's also a version of me, like, there are different versions of my life throughout the timeline. There are versions of the timeline where I'm dead. There are versions of the timeline when I'm alive. Like, so many different alternate realities. And when I was trying to explain it to CJ, he was like, well, if we're going based on that theory, then like time travel is definitely a real thing. And I was like, no, because it's not. It's the same timeline, so it's happening right now. It's not like me in the future or me in the past. It's me right now, just existing differently based on the choices that I've made in my life and how they've led me to where I am. Like the butterfly effect, like any small decision that you make, even the flutter of a butterfly's wing can completely alter the entire course of your reality. And with that theory, there is like the ghost theory, to where ghosts aren't real. It's not a spirit or a dead person. It's an alternate reality of yourself, like slipping through the dimensional porthole. Or I don't know how to explain it because I don't know anything about it. This is just from like what I've heard from a couple people throughout the last like 10 years of my life. Like, I've never actually like had an in-depth learning experience about this. But like, so therefore I'm living in my house. If I start to hear knocks on the door or footsteps on the floor that don't exist, it's not a ghost. It's somebody else living in my house in a different timeline, but the gateway to those different timeline, or same timeline, different layers. So, but the layers are getting like melded together. So when a rocking chair starts to rock and nobody's on it, you're like, oh my God, it's a ghost. No, it's not. The alternate realities, the alternate dimensions are just mingling in that moment for some reason. I don't know. So somebody else is living in the house, sitting on the rocking chair thinking, huh, it's so weird. I swear I hear footsteps. That must be a ghost, you know, but it's not a ghost. It's you in a different time, or in a different reality. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but the duplicates theory is one that I just heard about, excuse me, where there will be random duplicates of things that just show up. Like, or I guess a good way to think about it is when you're looking for something, let's say you're looking for a necklace and you are just searching for this necklace and you're like, I know it was in this last, like, I know it was sitting on the bathroom counter. I know it was, and it is gone. And you're frustrated and you're looking through everything up and down, emptying drawers out. And you're like, where is this necklace? And you've looked for it everywhere. Your family's looked for it. Nobody can find it. Then you go to work and you come home. The necklace is sitting right there on the counter of the bathroom, right exactly where you thought it would be. And you're like, how did I not see that? The theory is because it wasn't there. It slipped into another dimension and then came back. I know it's weird. I know it's bizarre, but that's like a rabbit hole that I would like to fall down sometime soon if I get the chance. If I have the time to fall down a rabbit hole, I would like to fall down that one next. And the duplicate theory is like that one where it like disappears and comes back, but instead it's like an item of yours from this reality is in another reality and it somehow comes into your own reality. So this TikToker Zoro, if you know who that is, she's the one who does like the high kick and she's like, you're a bad bitch, like that one. She was looking for this specific pair of socks that her aunt gave her years ago. This one specific pair of socks that was a gift for a birthday years and years ago. And she found the socks, two like kind of dirty socks, you could tell they had been worn, and then one duplicate, a third sock that was the exact same as the other two socks but clean. And she was like, I have never had two pairs of these socks. I don't even know where to get these socks. My aunt got them for me as a birthday gift. I didn't ever acquire two pairs of these socks. And if I'd had a third one this whole time, don't you think in the last like 6 years that I've had these socks, I would have been like, oh, I have a third one of these socks. Like, don't you think I would have noticed? Like, where did this third sock come from? And so it's like, basically, it's from another dimension and it just happened to morph into this one. So now she has 3 of these socks and she has no idea where the third one came from. So it's kind of like, I don't know, that's like a hole that I would love to fall down if I am so lucky to get the chance. Because things like that, I mean, I guess they could be explained somehow, like maybe somebody else happened to get her those socks as well at another time and she lost one of them. And so now she has the third one, but she just doesn't remember getting those socks as a gift. Maybe, I don't know. And some people were trying to justify it in her comments and they were like, well, maybe it just came with a third sock, like as a set in case you lost one of the other socks. And she was like, who does that? What company sells 3 socks? Like, and she was like, and also, if that were the case, I go back to, would I not have noticed beforehand? Like before this moment, 6 years in, don't you think I would have been like, oh, it came with 3 socks. How cool is that? But she didn't. So weird. And like, if she had had the third sock this whole time, don't you think that she would have worn it? Like, without realizing that she had the third sock. Let's say she's had it somehow and she didn't realize that she had it. Don't you think it would have gone into the mix of like the other socks and she would have worn it? But this sock was like brand new clean and the other 2 socks were worn. I don't know, bro. That shit trips me right out. It trips me out. Do you guys have any thoughts on that theory? I know I've brought up like the layered onion-like multi-dimensional kind of situation before, and I got a few responses that were like, yeah, no, I don't believe that at all. And I totally get that. I don't necessarily believe it either. But when stuff like that happens, like, I don't know, it makes sense to me. It makes sense. Like, that's the only sense that I can make of it, is that it's some kind of alternate reality. And isn't it also kind of comforting and a little scary to think, like, what if there is a version of me who married my first love and has kids with him now, and I'm like this military wife, or like, oh, my phone is starting to get hot. Let me unplug it here. Let me unplug it here. Let's see if it chills out for a second. I hope it does. I hope it doesn't like overheat. That would be super lame. Let me turn on the air conditioning. I can see that it's starting to get a little bit laggy. If it is, just listen. Listen like a podcast. Don't watch. Just listen. But it's like comforting to know that, like, that a version of me like that exists, or there's a version of me who has millions and millions of dollars and I'm a super successful author, or there's a version of me who has like this terrible life and I got involved in like the wrong kinds of people and the wrong kinds of things when I was younger, and I'm like living this horrible existence somewhere else, but I'm lucky enough to be on this timeline where I'm okay. And like, just how lucky I am to, if that does exist and all these different timelines are a thing, how lucky I am to be in this reality with my dog and my daughter, who are the 2 single greatest girls in the entire world. Like, how lucky was I to end up here? And it's also kind of comforting to know, like, if I die, that there's a timeline of me that goes on, that's still alive. Possibly. I don't know. Here, let me turn this up a little bit. I'm just going to turn up the AC, try to cool this phone down because it is tweaking out considerably. It is tweakerooning out. Sorry if that got loud for a second. All right, that seems fine now. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I apologize if it got a little freaky deaky for a second there. I'm gonna turn the air conditioning down in a sec too. Just give me a moment. Just gonna let it chill. These videos are not ideal to edit, which is why I try to do them all in one shot if I can, because if I edit them, then I have to export them to my device, which takes up a lot of space, which I don't have on my phone, which then I have to upload it. It's a whole thing. Whereas if I just film it in one take, I can just upload it to the channel, no problem, like all in one take, and I don't have to take up double the space on my phone, if that makes sense. So anyway, what do you think about that theory? I think it's so fascinating. I really do. I think it's very interesting. I think it's like thought-provoking, and it's something I would love to learn more about. But I was telling CJ this too, where it's like, I would love to learn about it, and I would love to study it and like really develop a belief about it, like whether or not I believe it. But I feel like I would never be able to talk to anybody about it because I'm not very good at explaining things. Like, I'm maybe good at taking in the knowledge, but spitting it back out, not so much. I'm not great at that. Like, trying to explain something to somebody is not my forte. And I don't remember like the facts. I might remember how I feel about it. I might remember different tidbits of information, but I won't remember like the numbers, the facts, the proof. And so then I would be like trying to explain it and be like, oh yeah, there's proof, I just don't know it. You know, I just find it interesting. And then it's like zodiac signs, right? I understand that they're just a bunch of hullabaloo. A lot of people don't believe in them, and that's totally understandable to me. I don't believe in a lot of things. But I am such a stereotypical, like to the letter Gemini, and so is my fiance. My best friend is a Taurus, like through and through. I have a friend who's a Leo. She is a Leo. Okay? And like even my big three, my sun, moon, and rising are so accurate to me. And it's like, if there's nothing to it and it's just a bunch of hullabaloo, then how could it possibly be so accurate? Because it's not like a horoscope is a whole bunch of BS most of the time, right? Because people will just write these horoscopes who like, they'll work for Cosmopolitan, write a horoscope and be like, I'm just going to put in general information that pretty much fits everybody. And then they'll read it and be like, oh my God, that's me. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just general information. It's not like that. It's so very specific personality traits, likes and dislikes, faults, different just characteristics that are so specific to different signs that it's like, how could that just be made up? How could that be something that I hear in my head? Like, they don't say, for example, with Geminis, that we have multiple personalities. That's literally our symbol, is the twins, because we have multiple people living inside us, basically. They don't say that about other signs. And like, there are other signs, like a Taurus is very stubborn. I don't identify that way. Like, I can be stubborn, yeah, but I wouldn't say it's like one of my main characteristics. Or like a Leo is more like, I don't know, like, you know, I don't identify with the other traits of other signs. Like, I am a Gemini. And my big three, somebody asked me what my big three were a few episodes ago. And here, let me get over. But somebody asked me my big three, and I am a Gemini sun, a Leo moon, and a Libra rising. If you guys were ever curious, those are my signs, my big three. If any of you are super interested in astrology or whatever, like, here's the thing, I'm not, like, I know about myself, and I know like a couple traits about people that I love, but I don't know anything about any other sign. So like, you couldn't, unless it's somebody who I'm like, she reminds me a lot of my best friend, I bet she's a Taurus or something, like, then I can see it. But otherwise, if it's like somebody I don't know a whole lot about, like a Virgo or an Aries, like, I don't know a whole lot about that. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, but I do know a lot about Geminis, and my God, like, it's just so accurate. Very strange. And same with like, sorry, with different religions and stuff. It's like, I don't know what I believe in. I don't know if I believe in nothing or everything. But it is odd to me that from everywhere on the planet Earth, all different cultures, all different people, pretty much every single culture has like the same kind of story. Maybe just with different characters' names, different ways that things happened, and stories that are retold, but like the same kind of stories. And it's like, how could everybody just make up the same thing, countries apart from each other? That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. There's got to be some truth to some of it. And like how pretty much every single culture, religion, everybody has like something that lives in the sky, whether it's God or like hieroglyphics that of like beings coming down from the sky, whether it's gods or aliens or whatever. It's like, how could everybody just believe the same shit and there's no truth to it? It's just strange. I don't know. But what blows my mind is how some people are just so convicted that what they believe is absolutely right. And they're so certain that they are correct. And that there's nobody else who could possibly have a different theory that has any sort of validity whatsoever. That blows my mind. Maybe it doesn't. Because I was just thinking, like, I don't know. Because I don't believe anything like that. That's what I was just thinking, was that I don't believe anything with such certainty, with such knowledge that I am 100% right, that I could not possibly be wrong. But then again, there are a couple things, and I'm sure you can guess what they are, that I believe that about. But even in those situations, I'm like, but I understand why somebody could not be this way, or why somebody could believe something different, or how this isn't meant for everyone. Like, I can still see that, even with, all right, let's just call it out what it is, veganism. I know, and I'm not calling anybody out here, you guys know this, I know that I'm, in my mind, doing the right thing, okay? In my mind, me personally, I'm not, but I understand at the same time fully that veganism is not for everyone, that not everybody could be vegan. Like, even if I believe like this is right, this is morally right, and there is a right and a wrong, and this is right, like, even if I believe that, I still believe that there's a gray area where it's like, yeah, but not for everyone, you know? And so I just don't believe how somebody can feel so absolute about something to where there is no other option. They're willing to kill and die for a specific belief that they are right about something like God or whatever that nobody can prove. What? Man, I don't know. Just the conviction. I can't imagine. Like, I remember arguing with kids on the bus when I was a kid about God. Just because, not even because I didn't believe in God, but just because I really liked to argue. Shocker. Who's surprised? But I really liked to debate. I liked to argue. I didn't like to get people riled up necessarily. I didn't mind it. But I just really, I liked the back and forth. And I always played devil's advocate. So even if I 100% agreed with what you were saying, not gonna lie, I'd always be that guy who'd be like, well, but what if, like, for example, when I was in debate in school, or I think it was sociology or something, but we had to have this debate, and we had to like be lawyers for the day. And the debate was about prayer in school. And even though I am not religious and I don't believe in anything and I don't pray, I was like, I'm taking this one, because I was like, I can have a good argument of why prayer in school should be allowed and encouraged. Like, I just like to play the other side. I like to play both teams. So yeah, I don't know. I just can't imagine feeling so certain that I was the only one who was right in the whole world. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. But anyways, so I'm on my way home, and I've got a little bit of a drive here. Sorry. Oh, it's hurting my head. I have like a little bit of a headache coming on. So every time I cough, it's like, but I have a few things that I want to do at home here. I have about 2 hours until I have to go get Rosie. Or no, that clock is wrong. I haven't changed it. I have 3 hours until I have to get Rosie. Woohoo! So I'm going to put the laundry away. I'm going to clean the floors, and I'm going to try to make space for my jars that are arriving tomorrow. You guys, I don't know where I'm going to find room for 600 vessels, but we are going to make room. So I'm going to try to do that and get this house ready to decorate the tree. I have my psychiatry appointment today. I'm going to go do that in a little while here. And yeah, all should be good. I don't know. I'm sorry this entire video is just nothing but one big rant. But if you found it interesting, or at least if you're here until the end, leave me a light bulb emoji in the comments down below just for fun, to help me with the algorithm, but also to just let me know that you're still here. And if you find any of this fascinating or have any sort of comments or thoughts, and nobody, before anybody does, I mean, you probably already have, but before anybody's like, so you think that I'm a bad person because I'm not? No. And I don't even want to hear that bullshit. Okay, so literally do not even start. I don't want to hear it. I will delete your comment straight up, because I don't want to hear any of that. I already said that that's not how I feel, and that's not what I think. I prefaced before I even said anything that that's not how I felt, and that I don't believe that there's a 100% right or 100% wrong way. But I was saying, if I did believe that, even still, I think that there are exceptions. So nobody come at me with that bullshit. Thank you. But I do love you guys. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening to my rant. Thank you for watching, giving me someone to talk to. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you again very soon. I promise. Bye, guys.